You know, there's something I've seen again and again. In my 50 years as a doctor. It's not the numbers on a blood test. It's not even the pills lined up on a table. It's the look in a patient's eyes. A mix of tiredness and fear. That feeling of, what now? How much worse will it get? I remember Mrs. Carter, 62. She walked into my office one morning, holding her test results. Her blood sugar? Higher than last time. Her cholesterol? Still up. And that stubborn belly fat. She told me she'd been dieting. She'd been walking every day. But she was exhausted, frustrated. And here's the part that broke my heart. She said, "Doctor, I feel like I'm losing the fight." Maybe you've felt that too? Or maybe you've seen it in a parent, a spouse, a dear friend. You look in the mirror? The face staring back at you looks older, more worn. The energy you once had? Gone by midday. The test results keep showing red numbers. The diet feels endless. And the pills, they just keep increasing. It's as if life has become a long list of restrictions and a short list of pleasures. But here's the question I want to ask you today. What if? Just what if? One humble leaf, yes, a leaf you might find in a garden or local market, could fight all three problems? Diabetes, bad cholesterol, and belly fat. And what if it could do it naturally? Now, I'm not talking about a miracle pill from a TV ad. I'm talking about something nature has been quietly growing. Long before we ever built hospitals. Long before pharmacies even existed. I've spent years studying plants. Not as some magic cure, but as partners in health. Helpers, tools. And I've found there are 4 leaves that stand out. 4 that science and tradition both agree can make a difference. You may have heard of 1 or 2. Guava leaf, mango leaf, mulberry leaf. But there's a 4th, one that's rarely talked about. Yet it's been used for centuries in certain parts of the world. And when I tell you its story, and what it can do for your body, you might just look at your next meal differently. So, stay with me until part 5. Because that's when I'll reveal this mystery leaf, where it came from, and why I believe it could be a game changer for so many people, including you, or someone you love. Now, before we get there, let's start with something practical. Because knowing is good, but knowing how to use it, that's when change begins. Now, let's get to the part people always ask me. Doctor, I know what the leaf is, but how do I use it? I've seen too many patients hear about something healthy, get excited, and then prepare it the wrong way. Too strong, too weak, or at the wrong time of day. So, I'm going to walk you through it, step by step, like I would if you were sitting in my clinic, right in front of me. The T method. This is the simplest, and the most common. Take 5 to 7 fresh leaves. Or, if you only have dried leaves, about 1 tablespoon. Wash them well. Then put them in a pot with about 300 milliliters of water. That's just over a regular coffee cup. Bring it to a gentle boil. Not a furious rolling boil. Just enough heat to make small bubbles rise. Let it simmer for 5 to 10 minutes. Then turn off the heat. And let it sit for another 3 minutes. Why wait? Because those last few minutes let the goodness, the compounds that help your blood sugar and cholesterol, fully release into the water. Pour it into a cup. Drink it warm, slowly. This works for guava, mango, mulberry, and curry leaves. But if you're new, start with just one type first. Let your body adjust. The powder method. Now, some people don't want to boil tea every day. That's where powder comes in. Take fresh leaves. Wash them. Dry them in the shade, not in direct sunlight. Why? Because strong sunlight can damage some of the plant's active compounds. When they're completely dry, grind them into a fine powder. Store it in a clean, dry jar, away from moisture. 1 teaspoon, stirred into warm water, or sprinkled over your breakfast, is enough. But again, start small. Half a teaspoon for the first week. Especially if you're already on medication for diabetes. Fresh use, chewing. Some leaves, you can chew fresh. Curry leaves are famous for this. So are guava leaves, though they can be a little bitter. Chewing releases oils and compounds directly into your saliva. That means your body starts absorbing them right from the mouth. But don't overdo it. 4 or 5 fresh curry leaves in the morning is plenty. Best time to take. Here's what I've seen work best. If your main goal is blood sugar control, drink the tea in the morning, before breakfast. If you want help with digestion and fat burning, have it after your largest meal. And if cholesterol is your focus, evening works fine. Some patients like to split the dose. Half in the morning, half after dinner. That's okay too, as long as you're consistent. Important caution. Now, listen carefully here. If you are already taking medication for diabetes or cholesterol, these leaves can make those medicines work even stronger. That means your blood sugar could drop too low. I've had patients call me saying, "Doctor, I feel dizzy, shaky, and when we check, it's a sugar drop. So please, check your sugar more often in the first 2 weeks. If it's going too low, talk to your doctor about adjusting the medication." Remember, natural doesn't mean harmless. It means nature is powerful, and power must be respected. Alright, now that you know how to use them, let's talk about what these leaves actually are, and the special gifts each one carries. Because in part 3, we meet the 4 guardians of your health. 4 leaves, each with its own story, each with its own way of protecting your body. I like to think of them as 4 old friends, 4 friends in nature's pharmacy, each one with its own personality, its own way of protecting you. First friend, guava leaf. Guava leaves are gentle but powerful. They have a way of calming your blood sugar, especially after a meal. You know those sugar spikes? When your energy shoots up and then crashes down? Guava leaf helps stop that. It works like a kind gatekeeper in your gut, slowing down how quickly sugar gets into your blood. And there's more. If your stomach often feels heavy, or you get bloated, guava leaves can help digestion too. I've had patients tell me, "Doctor, I drink guava leaf tea, and my stomach feels lighter." That's no accident. It's the leaf doing its quiet work. Second friend, mango leaf. Sweet fruit, healing leaf. Mango leaves are not sugary like the fruit. In fact, they help your body handle sugar better. They improve insulin sensitivity. That means your cells can use sugar more efficiently, instead of letting it float around in your blood. And if you struggle with sugar cravings, this leaf might surprise you. Many of my patients tell me, after a few weeks of mango leaf tea, the urge to grab a cookie after dinner just fades away. Third friend, mulberry leaf. The quiet heart protector. Mulberry leaves are famous in Asia, and for good reason. They lower LDL cholesterol, the bad kind that clogs arteries. At the same time, they help protect your heart and blood vessels. I remember Mr. Allen, 70 years old, after 2 months of mulberry leaf tea. His cholesterol dropped so much. His doctor said, "Whatever you're doing, keep doing it." Fourth friend, curry leaf. This one's a little different. While the others work more on sugar and cholesterol, curry leaf has a talent for fat metabolism. It helps your body burn fat more efficiently, especially the stubborn fat around the belly. It also supports digestion, so the food you eat is broken down and used, instead of stored in the wrong places. We'll talk more about this leaf in part 5, because it has a story worth telling, one that stretches back hundreds of years, and across oceans. 4 friends, 4 gifts from nature, each one working in its own way. But when you understand them, and use them wisely, they can stand guard over your health. Sugar control, heart protection, better digestion, less fat around the middle. And the best part? They're not expensive. They're not rare. They're simply overlooked. In the next part, I'll take you inside the science. Because it's not enough to just believe. I want you to know why these leaves work, and how they do it. Inside your body. That knowledge, that's power you can use. Now, I want you to imagine your body like a busy city. The roads? They're your blood vessels. The cars driving around? That's your sugar and cholesterol. If there are too many cars, and no traffic lights, chaos, accidents, blockages. These 4 leaves? They work like traffic controllers. Each one has its own job to keep the city running smoothly. Guava leaf, the sugar gatekeeper. Inside guava leaves, there's something called quercetin and polyphenols. Big words, I know, but think of them as tiny guards, standing at the doors of your intestines. When you eat bread, rice, sweets, your body breaks them down into sugar. Normally, that sugar rushes straight into your blood. But quercetin and polyphenols, they slow the gate. They let sugar in little by little. So your blood sugar doesn't spike like a roller coaster. It's like pouring tea slowly into a cup, instead of dumping the whole pot at once. Mango leaf, the sugar helper. Mango leaves have a special compound called mangiferin. Think of mangiferin as a helpful worker that opens the doors to your cells. You see, insulin is the key that unlocks those doors. But in diabetes, the lock gets rusty. Mangiferin cleans that lock. It makes your cells more sensitive to insulin, so sugar can get inside and be used for energy, instead of floating around in your blood causing trouble. And here's something interesting. Many people notice their sugar cravings fade, because when cells get the energy they need, the body stops begging for more sugar. Mulberry leaf, the sugar blocker. Mulberry leaves carry a compound called DNJ. That stands for 1-deoxynigeromycin. But don't worry about the name. Just remember this. DNJ acts like a brake. When you eat carbs, rice, bread, noodles, enzymes in your gut break them down into sugar. DNJ steps in and says, "Not so fast." It blocks some of those enzymes, so fewer carbs turn into sugar. The result? Your blood sugar rises more slowly. And over time, your cholesterol can drop too, because less sugar turns into stored fat. Curry leaf, the fat burner and vessel protector. Curry leaves are loaded with carbazole alkaloids. Now, imagine your body's fat storage like a warehouse. For many people, the warehouse is full, too full. Carbazole alkaloids send a message to your metabolism to start using that stored fat for energy, especially belly fat, the kind that wraps around your organs. And while that's happening, curry leaves also help your blood vessels stay flexible and clean, like giving your city roads a fresh layer of asphalt. So traffic, your blood flow, moves freely. 4 different compounds, 4 different jobs. 1 slows sugar coming in. 1 helps cells use it better. 1 blocks sugar from forming. And 1 burns fat while protecting your heart. It's a team effort, nature's teamwork. And when you understand the why, you're more likely to keep using them, because you know exactly what's happening inside your body. Now, I promised you, one of these leaves has a story worth telling. A story that begins in village kitchens and ends in modern science labs. And now, the moment I promised you. The mystery leaf is the humble curry leaf. Not curry powder, not the spice mix you buy in a jar. This is the fresh, green leaf, small, fragrant, often tucked into dishes in South India. If you've ever been in a South Indian kitchen, you might have seen a handful of these leaves, sizzling in hot oil, giving off a smell that makes your mouth water. For generations, these leaves have been more than just flavor. In Ayurveda, the ancient system of Indian medicine, curry leaves have been used for digestion, to keep the bowels moving, to help the body handle sugar better, and to stop fat from piling up in the belly. Families didn't measure the benefits in numbers or lab reports. They measured it in life. In grandparents who stayed active. In parents who rarely got sick. In children who grew up strong. I remember visiting a small village in Tamil Nadu years ago. An elderly woman, maybe in her late 80s, still working in her garden, bending, lifting, laughing. When I asked her secret, she waved me into her kitchen. There, on the counter, a bowl of fresh curry leaves. She told me, every morning, she would chew 5 leaves before breakfast. Every afternoon, she would drop a few into her lentil stew. It wasn't a health trend. It was just life. Modern science has finally caught up with what those elders knew. Research shows curry leaves can lower blood sugar by helping the body use insulin more effectively, reduce bad cholesterol and raise the good kind, speed up fat metabolism, especially around the belly, protect blood vessels from hardening. One study even found people who ate curry leaves regularly had healthier waistlines and lower triglycerides than those who didn't. And here's something I love about this leaf. It's not fancy. It's not expensive. It's not locked behind a prescription pad. It's growing in backyards, in pots on balconies, in markets, waiting quietly in a bundle of green. So now, you know. The fourth friend. The one that works quietly in the background, yet can change so much in your health story. In a moment, I'll tell you about a man who put this leaf to the test. And the results he saw, in just a few short months, might inspire you to start today. Let me tell you about Mr. Harris. 54 years old, a good man, hard worker, but when he came to see me, his health was telling a different story. Belly fat that just wouldn't go. Cholesterol climbing every checkup. And his blood sugar, just high enough to earn that dreaded label, borderline diabetic. He looked at me that day and said, "Doctor, I'm tired of feeling tired." He wasn't asking for another pill. He wanted a plan, something he could do every day, without feeling like he was chained to a strict diet forever. So, I gave him something simple. Every morning, before breakfast, a glass of curry leaf juice. Not complicated, just a handful of fresh leaves, blended with a little water, and strained into a glass. And in the afternoon, mango leaf tea. 5 fresh mango leaves, washed, simmered gently, then sipped slowly. We didn't change everything overnight. We didn't strip away all his favorite foods. We just made these 2 habits non-negotiable. 3 months later, he walked into my office. But this time, he didn't look tired. His waist was smaller, his face brighter, and his smile, well, it said everything before the lab results even arrived. The scale told us he'd lost 12 pounds. His waistline was down by 3 inches. Cholesterol? Back in the safe range. And here's my favorite part. He told me, "Doctor, last weekend, I played soccer with my grandson. And I didn't have to stop. Not once. That's what I want for you. Not just numbers on a chart. But energy, freedom, the joy of doing what you love, without your body holding you back." In our final part, I'll leave you with something to remember. A gentle push, and a little hint about what's coming in our next talk. Because your health journey doesn't end here. It might just be beginning. So, here's what I want you to remember. You don't have to change everything in one day. You don't have to try all 4 leaves at once. Start with one leaf, one simple habit. Maybe it's guava, maybe it's mango, maybe it's mulberry, or maybe it's the curry leaf. Choose one, stay with it, let your body get to know it. Health is built like a house. One brick at a time, one habit at a time. And one day, you'll look back and realize you've built something strong enough to protect you for years to come. Your health is the greatest gift you'll ever have. Care for it now, and it will care for you in ways you can't imagine. Not just in numbers, but in moments. Moments like playing with your grandchildren, walking without pain, waking up with energy, sleeping with peace. That's what I want for you. And before we part, I want to hear from you. Have you ever tried any of these leaves? Which one will you start with? Tell me in the comments. Because your story might just inspire someone. If you found value in what we shared today, click like button. It tells me this message. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the end. And please, share this video with someone. Because health is even more powerful when we share it. That's all for today. Thank you. Take care. Oh, and